We are live. Oh, I was a little excited. Been a busy weekend, busy couple days already, but we are live. SFMF Live. We'll give everybody a few minutes to get on board, and I will start my monitor up there. Special day today, so we have a lot of things to talk about, right? Could be very interesting topics. If I could get someone to come turn on my monitor. And we are live Wednesday night. Hump Day. It's not just a regular Wednesday today, as all of you know. My production team is here and around. Always, we're always on the move. If I can get a sound check, video check, make sure everything is set, we will get started. It's been a busy week already. Busy weekend. Sunday was great. We had our special guest on the live show, and that was awesome. Definitely more of that to come. That was fun. And yes, we're gonna do it more. We got a lot of requests, a lot of great comments. Hey, I just get us up on screen here. Special day today, 23 years ago today. Anyone know what day that was? I'm looking for the live up here, trust me. It says it's live. 23 years ago today, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. How time flies, I guess. The what has gone on in your life since then. 9/11, September 11, 2001. 23 years ago today. Different, depends on who you talk to, depends on where you were at that time, depends on, a lot of things really go into play when you think about it. There we go. I got us on live. Somebody come start the clock, and we are good. All right, we are connected. We are live. I already see Anderson Ho, Semper Fi, my friend. Awesome. Appreciate you already. That's how you start a show. Starting the stream out right. The Salty says it. Good evening, warriors. Here for motivation and inspiration. I am too, brother. I am too. Chala, good to see you, brother. You better been PTing this whole time. It's been a month since we've seen you. Doc Holiday, you nailed it, brother. What are we drinking? You know, I'm drinking some coffee with the old Sarnt on there. So, yes, what is everyone drinking? And if I can get a team member in here, that's my weight. Gary Morton. Video and sound are good. My grandma died at the same time. Wow. On 9/11, Gary, sorry to hear that, brother. 23 years ago. Glevant, 12-year double oak scotch. Double oak scotch. Salty, that sounds delicious. I don't know enough about scotch or even whiskey, but that sounds very refreshing. Doc Holiday's drinking coffee like the rest of us. Tom Junk can always fly our flags at half staff on this day every year, even though the DMV, City Council, Council Commission officers have them at full staff. So very interesting that they would do, that some people would honor it and some people would not. And so we could, just to clarify how and when, how you actually fly a flag at half staff, because ours is too, right in front of our house. It's telling me what I got to do. Press and hold what button? No? Just put it in. Is this the left one? So how and when you fly the flag at half staff? First of all, yes. Doc Holiday, Semper Fi, brother. I appreciate you. Hi, flying the flag at half staff. So first of all, in a organization, if you raise it up and down on the flag pole, if you're part of that flag ceremony, a lot of people mess this up. But and especially if you're playing music at the same time. So you fly up, right? You raise the flag fast, no matter what. You raise it fast and you lower it slow, no matter what day it is. But when you fly it at half staff or half mast, you still go all the way up with the music and you stop you don't start lowering it if you're going to lower to half mast until the music's done, the bugler's done, whatever you're playing for it. Once it's at the top, and then you slowly lower it to half mast or half staff. And you should have it marked. It should be marked so you know when you're lowering the rope, you see a mark somehow on the rope that you know it's halfway. So you're not looking up and trying to figure it out, and then you tie it up. But again, the misconception is you raise it up and then lower it. If you're playing music, you can't do that while the music is still playing. So raise it all the way up, music stops, lower it down. Mast and staff, Jared. So sometimes it's a mast, sometimes it's a staff. So, and then to take it down from, yes, that's Mattis, everyone. Mad Dog Mattis is in the house also. Mattis, you better chill, buddy. I even have him on my shirt. Y'all notice my shirt today. So when you lower and in some cases, you're only supposed to fly at half staff until noon. But then when you lower a flag from half mast during the evening, 2 times you raise and lower colors, we'll ask that question next. You go all the way back up, raise it all the way back up, and then lower it slow if you're at half mast for the day. So again, those of you who have flags at your house, hopefully you have flown them at half staff. I have the one that hangs off the side of the house. And that one, you can put that at half mast. Our other one at our other house is a pole, and we have to fly that at half staff also. But what are the times you raise and lower a flag? Anyone know? Every morning at what time? 08? And you lowered at what time? Sunset. All right, 08 and sunset. Once again, Anderson Ho, Doc Holliday, thank you both. Appreciate your support. Awesome. Very, very much appreciated. I'll make sure that goes to a worthy cause. All right, so that's the flag. That is the flag. And again, hopefully organization is what John McJunkin was saying. Not everybody recognizes it. That's crazy because you see the flags flown at half staff for sometimes you wonder who died on this day. And it could be somebody somewhere that nobody has ever heard of. Should be flown every day, anytime any service member dies. Chala, thank you, brother, for our community here and being gone for so long. I'm sure I've missed these lives. We're glad you're back, Chala. Don't run to your car at the lowering. Amen, Menachem. Good to see you, brother. Colors. It's running away from colors, right? When you hear it, you know it's coming. You hear the 5-minute warning. Do you take off and hurry? We'll try to walk fast, get into your car, your house, your barracks, whatever you're doing. Don't do it, man. Have some pride. Have some pride. We'll talk about that later on what this day means to a lot of us and just old glory altogether. What does it mean to all of us? In fact, just thought of something else. He wants me to play with him. You want to be on camera? Is that what it is? I already got you on my shirt. Be nice. So honor the flag. We're talking about 9/11. Flag should be at half mast. And if they're not, how come? Hopefully somebody gets it together. I know the Marine Corps sends it out, knowing when to fly the half. If you've ever been the duty officer, the OOD, the staff duty officer, duty NCO, if you're at a barracks or a company office, you get the notification, or you can just look it up. When do flags fly at half mast? And it'll be out there. So honor it. And yes, someone said, don't run away. Menachem said, don't run when you hear the colors. And again, I want to think that's when you don't get it yet, I think is when young Marines or young service members do. And speaking of the other services, are they fanatical about colors like Marines are? You go on any Marine base, cars stop. You're PTing, you stop. The only time you don't stop during colors is if you're running a PFT, right? Something that's time that you can't stop. Other than that, you stop no matter what you're doing, right? Stop, face the music or face the flag and honor the colors. Again, once I don't know what other better way to put it, but once you get it, right? I would never duck from colors. It wouldn't even cross my mind. But I wonder when I was a young Marine if I ever did. Now, Okinawa, Doc Holiday, Sergeant Major, can't stay long, but God bless you all. See you guys on Sunday. Semper Fi, Doc. Appreciate you, brother. Always a pleasure to see you on here. And yes, we'll see you Sunday. Have a good night, brother. Appreciate you. Okinawa, we used to joke about that was the longest colors ever. Of course, the music is the same amount of time. The only difference in Okinawa is they play the national, what's it called? Somebody help me out. What's the name of what do they play in Hawaii? I mean, in Okinawa, Japan. Japan's national anthem. Come on, anybody remember what it's called? Anyone listening remember what it's called? Kimigayo. Yes, Kimigayo. So they play the national anthem and then Kimigayo, and it could be a long time. And in the morning in Okinawa in the summer, it's already 112 degrees out, so it's hard to stand there for that long. Right there, Lay Cookie nailed it. What's up, brother? He said, you know, your pride in our colors gets stronger with age. I believe that, brother. I absolutely do. Because I can, again, I'm thinking as a young Marine, I don't want to claim it now, but did I want to hurry up when colors going to come in a minute? We got to go. Again, now would never even consider it. All right. Rig Reynolds is here. Good to see you, brother. Gunner Sergeant, USMC era in garrison. I always try to arrive at work early enough to salute colors. That's what I'm talking about, right? I make it a point to be outside during colors. Even in the vehicle school, right? I always like, because you don't always hear it right away. And some of us hearing impaired don't hear it right away, but you can always tell. You see Marines stop, they stop walking, family members, right? When we were in Hawaii and our kids were real young, we lived near the commissary. Now our backyard was facing one of the main roads in Hawaii, and my kids would yell, colors. They'd hear it in the morning or evening if they're out there playing, just to pass that word on so everyone knows to stop and honor the flag. And yes, they were like 3 and 5 years old. And they would do it. They'd lock their little bodies and yell at the Marines walking by trying to duck it. So yes, honor the flag. Anderson Ho says, I remember running outside for colors because I thought it was awesome. Staff and SEALs Supply School thought I was nuts. Oh, respect all who served and those who continue to do so. Semper Fi, Anderson. So I'm with you. Flag is my only pride flag. Red, white, and blue, baby. Awesome. Excuse me. All right. I did a quick one, but let's hear what everyone's drinking right now. What are you drinking? You know, I got some coffee, got some water to hydrate. Telling you, I know it's only Wednesday, but it's been a crazy week for me already. A lot happening. And I just missed the big blue marker. Producer, did you see who that was from? Jared says, back in the day, you could hear people yelling colors from all across the base. That's right. And remember, when you hear it or you see people stop, you can't see the flag. You just face the music. If you can't hear the music, you face whoever yelled at you. Colors. You face that direction. Randall Knapp, thank you, brother. Awesome. Appreciate you, brother. Every American should show the same difference to our flag. Marines lead the way. Mountain Dew, Rig Reynolds, drinking some Mountain Dew. Noah's drinking water. All right. Child, I was not born when 9/11 occurred, but when it does tug at the heartstrings for me, must have to mean something. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. That's today's challenge. That's today's topics. Again, it was a pretty crazy day. It was just made sure I stopped everything so we can talk about that today. Very significant day today. Gary Morton. I have to go with I'm a little hungover from last night. See y'all on Sunday. See you, Gary. Take care, brother. David Bryant, remember everyone trying to get inside during colors. Top would make everyone go back outside. Guess I'm top. OG, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Drinking iced tea. Miss Stacy Holt, look who we have here in the audience. I think you yelled at me once because I didn't stop for colors. I'm sure it was more than once because you didn't always listen when I yelled. Good to see you, Stacy. David, thank you for your service, bro. Get some. Kimi Cocoa Puffs. Hi there. Kimi Cocoa Puffs was, and from our producer, Randall Knapp. Thank you, kind sir. Thank you, brother. Again, appreciate you very much, all of you, Randy, and we'll see you next time. Gary Morton, we'll see you, Gary. Big shout out to Gary Morton. We'll see you again soon on Sunday, brother. Have a great night. Rest of your week. Oh, Salty Saxy. I'm legitimately impressed at everyone for drinking fluids other than alcohol. Good on you, everyone. I won't follow suit, though, since I drink water all day. Well, there you go. As long as you're getting your hydration in, Salty. And I can't wait to try some of the whiskey and vodka. What else you drink? It always sounds delicious when you're drinking, but I know I'd probably make that face after I drank it. We go on for days about 9/11. I was an active firefighter and 31 years old. Jared, that's funny. That's my first question. How old were you during 9/11? September 11, 2001, 23 years ago. So yes, we're going to do the math and find out how old you are. But how old were you when that happened? Because here's what I liked to see was very impressive. The ones that joined like September 12th on, you know what I mean? All those warriors that joined because of 9/11, right? Because of the terrorist attacks. So, some hardcore individuals. Some had to wait a couple of years, obviously, until they're of age. But how old were you on 9/11, 2001? But they hear him, 26, young buck. 9, Adam East, guns. Still remember it at 9 years old. Randall was 33. Shoot, I haven't done the math. I don't know how old I was. Oh, Salty says it's always Scotch. All right, but you have quite a few mid and top shelf Scotches. I want to try them. Rick Reynolds, 13. Noah was 3. I don't suppose you remember. Do you remember things when you were 3? I barely remember yesterday. Trump's ear bandage, 16. Anderson Ho was in the 10th grade. 9/11 was our generation's Pearl Harbor. Yes, it was. OG, I was 32 years old, getting ready to go to a job interview and saw it on the news. David Bryant, 40. We see the wide range of our warrior community right now, all the different ages. Bob, 420 Network, still free to like. Thank you, brother. Always on top of it. We sent double tap, everyone. Double tap on your screen. Boom. That easy. Spent 10 of our firefighters to New York. Wow, a few days later, Jared. 27, Jarhead. 27 years young. Interesting drink, Robert Glenn Johnson Jr., Junior Johnson, Midnight Moon. 35 or 36, me junkin. Yeah, that's, again, I've never done the math, but Salty, I was 10 when it happened. I was homeschooled at the time. I remember my mom getting a phone call and then turn on the TV and was speechless. I'm telling you, how odd was that? Just in complete awe, like what is happening? Mike and Lane, Trimpy, good to see you, 37. Stacy, 26, in Lejeune at the time. Noah, I don't remember, but I grew up hearing about it. It was definitely one of the reasons I joined the Corps. I definitely wanted to get back for my country. Get back for the country. Yes, amen, brother. 23 years old, Corbett. 2 weeks before my 24th birthday. Al Palmer is 46 years old. Where can I get that shirt? All right, you're stationed there. This is from Sergeant Cece. All right, she just got them in today. We have matching shirts. That's pretty cool. See the Dobermans on there? I was blocking it. Dobermans, Camp Lejeune or Lejeune. Depends on how you say it. Carlos Diaz, yes, you're late. That's called UA. You didn't miss the movement. You're here, but you are late. Al, I'm going to have to ask her where she got this shirt. If she joins us later, actually, she's training. She's in the field, so she's not gonna be able to join us tonight. She's getting some. Dave Bryant, Camp Lejeune, Annie Benani, Lejeune. Who says it? Say it right, Marine. We know the story of Lejeune. Old buddy P.T. Brent would lock you on and tell you how to say it correctly. Jarhead, I was an iron worker out of work at the time and tried to go to New York to help cut down buildings. Wow, recovery efforts for the union politics, it was impossible. Wow. Okay. Sergeant B, multitasking, troll hunter, and T-shirt entrepreneur. Get it? She's not with us tonight. So, Jared, you better be on your game. You should go out to the field with her. Make sure she ain't asleep on night watch. I should sneak. I know where she is. Sneak up on her. Or maybe I'll bring her some McDonald's. All right, MREs. She can eat MREs. Jared, right? She's UA or training, whatever. Mike, 32 years old. Oh, 34 years old. Wow, you're old, Mike. All right. Hi from Russia. All right. All over. They deliver out there. They deliver out there. You know, the roach coach. Hey, we just talked about that the other day. How about being in the field, out in the middle of nowhere, Camp Pendleton, Cave Springs, somewhere where no vehicles could even, Humvees have a hard time getting out there, but the roach coaches show up every time and sell out. So you always bring cash to the field. You never know. The sister pronounced it Lejeune. Oh, the sister. Oh, yeah. So back to Lejeune or Lejeune. Again, I grew up, my era, I think we learned it as Lejeune. Never even crossed our mind, thought anything different of it. Never. And of course, as a young Marine, you weren't learning all the history in boot camp shortly after that. And then even my engineer school was on Camp Lejeune. So my entire life, I knew it as Lejeune. Not until about 10 or 12 years ago, I met a gentleman, former Marine, and now he writes books and travels with the Marines, goes on deployment, writes a lot of books and stories about Marine, a good, positive stories about Marines. Awesome guy. He was bringing up the story. He had met the sister, I think, or I don't know who, and don't quote me on a lot of this, but they even came out with the shirt that said it was Lejeune, a little silhouette of him, and it said, "Say it right, Marine. Our name is Lejeune." Spelled the same, but pronounced different. French, right? Lejeune. So this, I think the Marine Corps tried to push it for a very long time. But you're talking about 200,000+ Marines have learned one way to say it, and now they're trying to change it. Some people are very adamant about it, and they push it against stickers and T-shirts. Say it right, Marine. Lejeune. So I mean, I don't know the right answer. I don't know any of the Lejeune family or Lejeune family, but they were around for a while. Still, obviously, relatives of General Lejeune, and it's, I don't know. Let's see. Let's take a little poll right now. Sound off. Lejeune or Lejeune? Let's see what you've learned, and having known the story about it, and research it. GTS, Google that stuff. Find out what is the proper way to say it. All right, Brian Grandstaff, 16 years old, walking to the next class in high school. We were been to bond the whole day, whole school stay closed. I'm sorry. Yeah. So Lejeune. Anyone? Named after 3-star Lieutenant General John Lejeune. Hear him. Number 2. The proper way to say it is Camp Pendleton. Good one, Carlos. Love Pendleton. Spent more than half my career in Pendleton. Salty Saxy says it's definitely Lejeune. But I say Lejeune because when I say Lejeune, people ask, is that near Lejeune? Annie Benani, it's Lejeune, Marine. We obviously know, Jared, it's pronounced Lejeune. So we know, again, a gentleman who is 100% adamant, and he knows part of the Lejeune family, and he's trying to help them get the word out, if you will. So, great question. And for a while, I was trying to assist, trying to help, and hey, if that's correct, I don't want to disrespect the general. As awesome as he was and the changes that he made for the Corps, would not want to disrespect him. But I'm not too sure if that's. Mike Lincoln said, "How would Lance Corporal Terry say?" Agent 39. Shh. All right, we got to lock it up. Lock it up, everyone. How do you say it, Agent 39? How do you say Lejeune or Lejeune? Real question, is first Mardiv or second Mardiv? East Coast or West Coast, baby, here we go. I used to love when Terry would sing cadence during PT runs. C-130 rolling down the script. I don't know if that was a different airfield that C-130 took, but it was great Marine, that Terry. Pendleton was the most dedicated Domino's driver, while Lejeune had the best roach coaches. All right. I don't pretend up stuff to fit in. Bob, good one. All right. John McJunkin, ask your question again. We're on the Lejeune thing. Was there a national event that shook up your child or teen years? Was that your question, John? And I'm getting it from the producer. So was there a national, 9/11, right? Something besides? Oh, no, I wasn't a child. Something, okay, yes, thanks, John. So my personal childhood, was there something that significant like 9/11 when I was a teenager? I can't, it probably, right? But as I'm reminded, I probably wasn't paying attention to that. I wasn't that aware of that. I was in my own little world with my family. But I got to imagine, yeah, Beirut was before I joined the Corps. Still didn't know that much about it. I told you my family, an uncle in the Army, 2 tours in Vietnam, 3 tours in Vietnam, but didn't talk about it. So I wasn't aware of our service members and what they did and what they went through. I don't remember my school being very patriotic. I don't remember a whole, even Vietnam veterans, right? It wasn't pushed, I guess, in my school, and unfortunately, I wish I would have known a lot more about it. So, which is what surprised the heck out of everybody when I did join the service, because it wasn't the small town I was from. It wasn't a small town, but it was just there wasn't a whole lot of. They were patriotic, but it wasn't mentioned. So great question, John, but yeah, nothing that I remember. Fouled anchor, where have you been, my brother? Yes, Beirut and Panama, Jerry, right? That was when we were in high school. Michael's Drones, our season 9. It's good to see you, brother. Good evening, Michael's Drones. People are saying that COVID is the new generation's 9/11 equivalent. Yeah, that's again another big mess that completely destroyed some careers. And I wonder, we talked a little bit about it, if I was still active duty when they were mandating service members to take that, I'd have gotten out before my time, did early retirement. Space Shuttle Challenger, 1986, saw it live, says Randall Knapp. Yes, that was very significant. Did it change our lives like 9/11? Definitely, that was huge. I remember that in high school quite a bit. Definitely talked a lot about it. Wow. Trimby says, off topic, 7th ESB, 1997. Do you remember serving there with Lance Corporal Marinez? The hard charger was on our Bravo company. Yes, Juan Marinez. Yes, looks like Marines. That was his last name, Marinez. Spelled Marines. Yes, and kept in contact with Marinez for a while. He lives in Texas. He was a cop for a while, became a detective. I think he even did undercover for a little while. Worked at the VA for a little bit as security. Yeah, he's doing well, doing very well. Little known secret about him, he has a twin brother. And funny, looks just like him. Good dude, yes, I do remember Marinas. I got to see him soon. I need to connect with him. I'll text him tonight, ask him why he's not here. We talked about it. He knows we got the channel. Reach out to him. Let him know he better start watching. 7th ESB in 97. Fouled anchor. ESB, Engineer Express. Engineers up. David Bryant, damn, I'm feeling old. Served 80 to 84. Wow. He's just a young buck. Man, he's still young. Still young. Feeling good. Alaskan Road Project, a couple times. Yes. All right. Second question about 9/11. Where were you during that time? Where were you when it happened? A couple of you already said it. I don't know if that made a difference. The active duty guys, I guess, that'd be a good question on where you were, because you weren't at home, and you had family members back home, wherever your family was. Was your thought with them? Did you feel like you had to get home? Excuse me. What if you're in a foreign country, right, on a completely different coast? If you're on ship, where are some of the places you were during 9/11 when it happened on 9/11? I was at Ground Zero for 7 days. Wow, John H., you were there. How soon, John H., were you there on 9/11? Fouled anchor, active duty, 1st Marine Division, 1st CEB, URAH, combat engineers. Lejeune, working on a huge loader on a main site, on a mine site. Wow. Right, and hearing that news, and then where were you and how'd you hear about it? Because Lejeune, you must have heard it on the radio or something. Somebody passed it to you. Carlos, on vacation, about to head to LAX to fly to New York. It all got canceled. You imagine that? Last place you want to be is on an airplane. I was on duty as a firefighter paramedic, Station 2. We halted. I missed the rest of it, Jared. So you, wow. Joe Warren says, what amazed me is how quiet it was after. I was on active duty, John. Says John now, then it was an inside job. No, I know it was an inside job. John McJuggen, Navy Captain, Chaplain, Merrifield, would like me to re-ask his question for you, Sergeant Major, if you're all right with that. Let's hear it from the chaps. Chicago Police Sergeant, says John, was there 15 days after it happened, 9/12, after I was protecting the Sears Tower. Wow, good on you, John. God bless you, brother. Fouled anchor, was driving to middle school, Huntington Beach. Oh, middle school, Huntington Beach. Was that where? Oh, Stage Hill. Jeff was in 29 Palms training in CAX, which was like our second home. Engineers up. Never ran on that. I saw the first tower fall on my way to work. Wow. Got to work that Tuesday. We had a staff meeting and nobody worked the rest of the day. We watched TV. Wow. Randall, you saw it. Man. Okay, chaps, here we go. From John McJunkin. Chap, Merrifield. How has your faith played an integral part of your military career and your personal life? God bless. Thank you, chaps. What an awesome, awesome question. So, I didn't realize it. What? I think I told everybody before, I never went to church, and even before that, growing up, my family was mom and dad working 2 and 3 jobs. It was like we didn't have time for church. It wasn't part of our daily life. And I went to church a couple times with some different friends, right? It took me for different reasons. They probably knew. I even played in a church band one time as a teenager. That was cool, but I didn't get it yet. And then in boot camp, I didn't go to church services on Sunday, and I wanted to, but my DIs had me working on guide stuff and PT, and you'll get better. So it wasn't pushed in my generation in boot camp. The smart ones went. They already had a relationship with God. And then throughout my few first years, I think my first combat experience was 5 years after I joined. That's when you meet God. Right? Well, that's when I did anyway. And the chaplain, and what the chaplain can do for you. He would go on patrols with us. He'd wait for us to come back. He'd bless us before we left. And we'd pray to God that we'd make it out of this one alive. That happened quite often, but I was one of those guys that put God right back on the shelf when we were safe. Again, didn't understand that he was on every patrol with us already. So that was tough. Again, I wish I would have. That's one of mine. I wish I would have had a relationship with God from the start. And then time goes on. Everything's good. Again, you forget. And then you're in combat again. I was in combat again. Same thing. God, please be with us on this patrol. Protect us. Look over us. Make sure nothing happens to anybody. Make sure we all come back alive. We all come back alive. I put God back on the shelf. So I didn't have a relationship with God until recently. Unfortunately, it was after I retired, and come to realize things, I didn't have everything under control. God was with me the whole time, but I never recognized that. Believed in God my entire life, always believed in God, but I didn't know the power and what he could actually do for me, how he worked through me. And it wasn't until I met the right people, started going to church. In fact, an interesting story, I was doing color guard. My JRTC unit was doing a color guard for Memorial Day at a church. And it was 4 services, and instead of leaving after each service, we stayed in the back and listened to the whole service. Then like the 3rd service, instead of going to the back waiting to come out and do colors presentation again, I sat in the audience and this time watched the pastor. And it started clicking. Oh my God, this is amazing. He is talking to me. It felt like the pastor's message, every one of them was to me. So Veterans Day came up. He asked, can you guys do it again? Absolutely. And then kept going a little more, and then actually started taking my kids, and I was introduced to God, and that lasted for a while. And then it wasn't until, again, I was in a pretty dark place, and again, then reached out to God. Got baptized. That was that cleansing moment that people talk about. That's when when the second you're underwater, it's like everything changes. You wake up and you realize this is what a relationship with God feels like. And talking to God and hearing him, I used to joke with people. God doesn't talk to me. He doesn't text me. He doesn't call me, but he's there. You feel it. The footprints in the sand. We talk about that quite a bit. I never understood that there's 2 sets of footprints, and when times are hard, all of a sudden it's one set of footprints. You're like, God, how are you going to leave me now? God didn't leave you. He's carrying you. Those one set of footprints is God's. So, man, I drug that out, and I apologize, but that was my journey with developing a relationship with God. And now I take my kids, we go to church every Sunday, or we watch it with today's technology, so we don't miss a Sunday. And I find myself constantly, I don't know what percentage of the day, but a huge percentage of the day talking with God. And he is there, and he is helping, and I have that relationship that I've been wanting to have. I didn't know how bad I wanted it, but it's amazing. And yes, God is good. all the time around. Thanks, Chaps. Thank you for the question. And sorry I got on a little soapbox there, but God bless you all. Jared says the biggest issue with religion is mistaking service with salvation. The message of Christ is simple and easy, but people distort the Bible so much it's not even funny. Amen, Noah. The challenges we are given are lessons for us to use when we can help serve others. Amen. That's from the producers. So those, and I like a lot of verses and a lot of sayings, but God only gives the toughest battles to his toughest warriors, right? And that's God working through you, right? So when he puts you in, I think God has a sense of humor because he can put you through some stuff. But that's a lesson that you're going to help someone else through. No shame and no need to ever apologize, Sergeant Major. Thanks, John. Appreciate you, brother. Amen. Trimpy. Being Jewish by birth, the recruiter had them put no preference on my dog tags. Funny, there's David Bryant, and I remember just growing up in the Marine Corps, they highly recommended us all put no preference. I think we all did, I know, in boot camp. And I kept carrying that out throughout my career. And I remember a couple of chaplains later on asking me, why does it say no preference? I mean, I did that for combat reasons, right? So if you ever do get captured, they can use your religion against you, is what I was always taught. And now, I mean, it doesn't matter to me what my dog tags would say, because I know my relationship with God. Religion doesn't matter. It's all about faith, says Bob. That again, what do you believe? Not bragging, but I'm a theologian. How did I say that? Theologian. Anderson Ho says, I finally got an ESV study Bible. Remind me what that is. This is a lot of good historical context information along with the verses and passages. Super helpful when reading some of the difficult passages. Remember I did a short a while ago about the Bible app. That one helps out a lot. It would, you can just type in how you feeling today, anxious, scared, homesick, lonely, and it'll pull up the best verses for you for that feeling. Awesome. Can you make religion up in the Navy or Marine Corps? Can you make a religion up in the Marine Corps? I'm not sure what you're asking here. Can you make up a religion in the Marine Corps, Navy or Marine Corps? Well, again, so everyone knows, if you don't know, the chaplains and Marines are Navy chaplains. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking. Bob says, we all are the church. Amen. Right? The church you go to is just a building. The people inside is what makes the church. Yes, Jared. Old Gyrene. Hey, Breed, I still believe in Santa. Why would you not? If somebody questioned it, you got to receive to believe. That's what I've always been told. Chicken has arisen. Amen, brother. Good to see you. Chicken, catch up, buddy. Talking about 9/11, where were you and how old were you? We had a great question from the chaplain with John McJunkin. How has religion played a role in my life and my career? Interesting. Whoa, check. It's been a while. I haven't seen you. We love Marines too. School principal. Hey, everyone. URAH, Semper Fi. Menachem, being Jewish, I never got nothing from Santa. You had 8 days of gift giving, Menachem. Don't even try it. I know you got at least a candy cane and 8 days of Hanukkah. You got presents for 8 days instead of one. No. John McJunkin, Devil Pup, Cadet Hilford asks, Sergeant Major, sir, can you explain to me what it takes to become a member of the Marine Corps President's own band? I'm a clarinet player, but I also play the bugle. Great question. The President's own. Did a short on that a while back. Had interesting comments on that. But the President's own is, man, I don't remember the dates when they were founded and all that, but that is the the president, I can't, who remembers what president said, this band will play for me wherever I go. And he created them. He made them. It was the Marine band at the time, and now it's the president's own. Interesting fact about them, they're not all Marines that went through boot camp. Remember, that came up. Most of them are, some are not. The ones who are just musicians try out and make the band. They have to audition and make it. Then they become E6s, staff sergeants. They fall under Marine Corps regs, haircut, height and body weight, PFT, the whole 9 yards. But they all have not been through boot camp. And interesting fact, the uniform is made out of different material. Their blue dress is a little different. Awesome uniforms. But to make the band, here's what I know. In Okinawa, had a drummer, buddy of mine. He was an engineer, but he was a drummer. Snare drum, all through his childhood and high school, the #1 snare drummer, played his whole life. And I played little drums growing up, so I know some stuff. But this dude was amazing. Truly amazing how he can play the snare drum. Some stuff I never think 2 sticks can do. He tried out for the band. Didn't make it. 4 years in a row, he tried out for the president's own. Didn't make it. Finally got back to the mainland, and he made it to his units. He ended up changing MOSs and made it to the unit band. Each big unit has a band, 1st Marine Division Band, 2nd Marine Division Band, depending on where you are. MCRD has a great band, but he never made it to president's own. So what do you got to do? You got to be very good, audition, and I would start looking to it now. Right there, school principal React says, the audition process is like a professional orchestra, New York Philharmonic, etc. Who did? Oh, school principal, you tried out for the Army band? Does the Army have like one overall? Like the major units in the Marine Corps have bands, but the president's own is the vice president's own. Is that right? That's what the Army has. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I just got trolled by the producer. David Bryant, right there. Practice, practice, practice. I did Pershing's own. All right. Facts, Jared. Pershing's own. 50 guys showed up to fill 1 spot. Wow. Not easy. So again, when you see the president's own, and I know they perform. Oh, Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson was the president at the time. He initiated 1801, called it the president's own. And they have since then, since President Jefferson, they have been playing for the president whenever he wants them to, I guess. But they're amazing. Every inauguration. And they perform, them and the silent drill team. I don't know which one performs 370 days a year. Yes, I know there's only 365, so they do a couple 2-a-days. Many 2-a-days, because a lot of those days are probably traveling and what have you, practice, but they perform more days than there are in a year. So it makes them probably that much better, but man, can you imagine doing that for a 3-year tour or however long they stay? All right, Anderson Ho says, I still believe the Marine Corps band, and I missed it, buddy. If it's that hard to be in the band and they earn the title, they would have much more respect, just like the silent drill team. I'm with you. Played in the garage band in Tustin for years. Yeah, I played in a couple garage bands growing up. Is it true? In true Marine Corps fashion, never give up. There you go, David. Nailed it. Keep trying. And put in for it. Again, rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Practice with some search. Find some teachers. Pay some money for some lessons. Get on the same page as them. Menachem says, where were you at 9/11, Sergeant Major? I wasn't even born yet. You know what? I was in Okinawa. Thanks, Menachem, for asking. I was in Okinawa, and the time difference there, we were like, it was the middle of the morning, like 2 or 3 in the morning. And we had just moved, so we didn't even have cable yet. And back then, TV had AFN. Armed Forces Network, right, with those funny commercials. Everything was a couple of days or weeks late, right? Football was late. Watching that, it was what? Yeah. So it was showing live, and I remember my wife woke me up like in the middle of the night. We had this little teeny tiny black and white TV with, we had aluminum foil on the rabbit ears, trying to get a picture, and we hadn't got cable yet. I don't even know if we had all of our TMO stuff. I don't remember. A farts, Randall, yes. So we could barely see it. It was grainy, snow, small picture, and black and white. But we were watching it, and I, again, in awe, just couldn't believe what really was happening, and a little late. So that's when everyone was still, what is happening? What's going on? A plane just crashed. It looked like an accident at first, but then, so I remember sirens going off. We're on what base were we on? Courtney, right? We heard the sirens, and then heard some loud speakers, and it was during a typhoon, so we were already kind of on lockdown. It was just odd and eerie. And then immediately the very next morning, there was already patrols all around doing circling the circumference of the base. We're on lockdown. Nobody could go anywhere. I was at Hanson, stationed at Hanson at the time, and we finally did go in and just preparing for war. Got on that the rotation of securing all the bases. So pretty odd, pretty eerie. And then we again watched it as much as we possibly could and got briefings and what have you. But I was in Okinawa at the time. Doc Holliday, 9/11 happened. I was getting ready to go to high school. TC1, baby, party time, old Gyrene. You remember those TC days? So you always had some food and beer and videos, right? You had to have everything ready in case you went into any TC. And some days you were just hoping for it. Mr. Berg forever. Can we get a shout? I saw it on here. Thank you, Mr. Berg forever. Semper Fi, my friend. A shipmate, right? For whatever reason, things happen for a reason. You're one team, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you. School principal says, I was a first-year college student in Georgia at the time. We highlighted 9/11 with students today at school. Many of them don't know the whole story. I forget that they weren't born yet. Amen. You meet people nowadays, and you got 2001, man, that's 23 years ago. It doesn't seem like it was that long, and you assume everybody knows about it. But yeah, kids today are learning about it in high school and didn't live through any of it. Did they have JPs at the gate when you were there? They did not. Oh yeah, they did. No, the first time JPs. Yeah. Kind of alternated. Japanese police, JPs. For those of you that have not been there, Marines ran the gates and JPs. Yes, they did. Of course they did. They were mixed. There was always a Marine and a JP. I remember on one of the bases it was just JPs at one gate. One time my wife they tried to stop her and she blew right through the gate and it was JPs. But yes, the JPs were there. Very cool. No issues with them whatsoever. Trimby says, I'm sure you have seen your share of live Marine Corps band and silent drill team events. I had the privilege once in the 90s on Camp Pendleton. I have as well, Trimpy. And again, I'm a huge fan. My favorite part of every ceremony, whether it's a retirement, change of command, relief and appointment, deactivation, doesn't matter. The best part is the band. Yes, I'm the band geek. Love seeing the band. 2 bass drums. That's what you got to look for. That's when you know it's a big deal, when you got 2 bass drums out there. Depending on the size of the band. Did I lose the volume? It's back. David Bryant. Maybe that was you. Jared says, remember when we were the young guys? Now we're not. That happens, brother. Getting old. Old breed, new breed. It doesn't matter as long as it's a Marine breed. All right. That's for you, Chesty. Just had some chicken strips wrapped in bacon. I got to say it was amazing. From where'd you get them, Doc? Family Farms? Chicken strips wrapped in bacon. Or did you make them yourself? It sounds delicious. As long as you still have breath in your lungs, you're still in the fight. All right. Amen, Salty. We just get better with age, right? Like whiskey, wine, what gets better with age? Carlos says, Sergeant Major, what type of Marine were you? The type that ran indoors turning colors and stand and salute. Come on, Carlos. What do you think? And again, I want to think as a young Marine, I probably did the hurry up and wait. Can't even fathom that now. I'm the guy that runs outside because I know colors is happening. Never. Homemade, Doc. All right. Producer says, was that from our Oh, no. Homemade. Homemade, Doc. Well, I'm really the young man here. Are you, Menachem? It's nice to see the CMC and ACMC in the gym so often, Moto. Are they really? Adam, Guns, you see those guys in the gym? Where at? That's good. I'm glad to hear that. McJunkin, Tim Menachem. They all like to hang out at a restaurant and talk to our older vets, and they also volunteer for several community projects. Are we talking about the commandant and assistant commandant? Salty says, call me emotional, but I get choked up every time taps is played. I'm with you on that, Salty, 100%. And I thought, man, am I getting soft in my old age? I don't know if it happened as much when I was active duty, but I tell you, I hear taps now. How about echo taps? So when I was stationed at McCass, we had our own funeral detail. Right now, I didn't always go with them, but there's two occasions I had to go with the funeral detail because the Marine that they were burying was higher ranked than our funeral detail staff NCO, which was a gunny. So if you're burying someone senior, you have to be equal or higher rank to run the funeral detail. So one time our guy was a staff sergeant, and they were burying a gunny in Hawaii. So it was actually my first time seeing them perform live, my funeral detail. So I would practice with them, and I saw the whole routine. They were awesome. Pretty amazing when you get some Marines together to perform that don't do it all the time. Just the pride that goes into it. Excuse me. So I was there, I was with them, and my part was only to deliver the flag to the family. And that's what the senior man does at a funeral detail like that. So the Marines performed, they did the 21 gun salute, bam, and I'll tell you that is, I knew it was coming, I was ready for it, and it's still boom. In that first round that goes off, man, this family, I'm sure all families just lose it. That's it. Then the second one, boom, 7 rifles, 3 times 21 gun salute. And one of the Marines picks up 3 round casings from the shells. Walk it over, they fold the flag. And I was delivering, and I apologize if I told the story before, but I was delivering the flag to the mother at first. And then right before we started, the funeral director said, hey, they changed their mind. The mom wants you to deliver the flag to the daughters, not to her. I was like, okay, which one is the daughter? And he said, look over my shoulder. You see 2 little girls sitting on one chair. And sure enough, I looked over, and there was 2 probably 7-year-old girls sitting on this chair already crying. I was like, man, come on. So it happened. Again, the whole crowd, it was a Hawaiian family. So there's a lot of them there. And so, again, as soon as the first round went off, they all started crying even louder, and they were trying to console the 2 little girls and each other. And then the echo taps played, and there was, I'm telling you, a bugler somewhere off in the distance behind the trees, and the bugler in front of everybody, and it was most beautiful rendition of taps I've ever heard in my life, and the chicken skin all over my body and a lump in my throat. They fold this flag up. The Marines are professional as all can be. And they gave me the flag, and I took it and spun it, and I did an about face and faced these two little girls, man, and the family all around them. And there's a speech that you have to give per the order on behalf of the President of the United States and the faithful nation, and all that was gone. I kept rehearsing it in my head so I wouldn't mess it up, but man, I walked in, you're supposed to bend over, turn the flag, hand it to them, stand up, salute, and bolt out of there. Couldn't do any of that. And I did. Of course, I kept it professional, but man, I got down on one knee and I put the flag on both their laps, and they're still bawling this whole time. And I said, on behalf of America, and I don't even remember what I said, but we are grateful for your father's service. God bless you and your family. Again, I don't remember to this day exactly what I said. And took off. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. Yes, with the lump in my throat and eyes welled up with tears, but it was truly a difficult thing to do. Family is very grateful. I'm glad I had the opportunity to do it. Wow, it was tough though. How'd that come up? What were we talking about? Oh, taps. So yes, taps. Even today, Salty said it. When I hear taps, it doesn't remind me of just of that moment, but just what it represents. It really, truly does put a lump in my throat. Old Jerry says, Sergeant Major, Honor Guard is the most honorable service Marines perform. I'll never forget the day Marines gave my mother my father's flag. I'll never be more proud to be a Marine. Amen, brother. Old Jerry, I'm telling you, amazing. Wow. Who's the senior enlisted to the assistant commandant? Good question, David Bryant. Does he have one? Does the assistant commandant have a senior enlisted advisor? I'm thinking the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps advises them both. I'm not sure. Does anyone know? It's a good question. Jared says, moments like that make you realize the love of people. Love is the greatest gift. Amen, brother. Jesus Christ coming back soon. I'm with you, Joey. Jared says, it should have been a lifer, Mike. A lifer. Yeah, David Bryan, I don't know either. Don't think so. I don't think the assistant commandant has a senior enlisted advisor, because I'm guessing it would be a sergeant major as well. Do you need two sergeants major? Maybe to be a master guns? Anderson says, our funeral detail performed military funeral honors for 2 airmen because their honor guard was stuck in traffic and wouldn't make it in time. Families were appreciative and thanked us. Anderson, oh, funny, I have a similar story. So the second funeral I went to with my own funeral detail, again, I had to go again because the guy was senior. This was an older gentleman. I think he was in late 80s or 90s. He passed away, but he was a gunny, I think, as well. Whatever it was, I needed to go because he was senior to my staff sergeant. Similar thing happened. We performed it. It was great. Everybody loved it. It was a very professional performance. And as we were packing up the vans, loading up and getting ready to take off, the funeral director came and said, I'm so sorry to even ask you this, but I do have an Army funeral going on right now, and their funeral detail is not here. Nobody can get a hold of them. Would you guys mind? Of course, Marines, anytime, any place. So we unloaded, got out, and performed this funeral for an Army soldier. We didn't know him or anybody there. And that family, Anderson Ho, was so grateful, got our names and numbers, and they sent us food later on in the week, and just continued to keep in contact with them. They were just amazed that we would do something like that for another service. But come on, really, who wouldn't? It was awesome. I feel you, Anderson. It's what we do, man. It's what we do. The Marines on burial detail are jacked. Yes, they are jacked. I did see you watching YouTube special on one of them. Their workout routine, they're beasts. Right? You have to be a certain height, right? Probably a certain weight, and you got to be jacked. Jack steel. Jahi, we actually did Burial at sea while on deployment 95. That's something to see. But as the veterans, we all have that option. I've never seen one of those, Jarhead. That's cool. Not cool, but it'd be interesting and to know what the difference is. Wow. Yeah, I didn't mean like cool. It was a party, but very interesting. Wow. Frank J. Good evening, sir. I'm a civilian who stops by every so many streams to show up, and I'm a big lover of the Marine Corps history. As are we, Frank J. And Marines are fanatical. Somebody asked me about what? About being Marines, and we love our history. And that's pretty much, I mean, we would talk mostly about the future. We want to know future stuff too. That's why we like current active duty Marines on here as well, to keep us straight, make sure we're covering things correctly. Well, good to see you, Frank J. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Remember, double tap, like and subscribe. There's only a few videos online. It's very interesting. Talking about the pallbearers, right? The Jack burial detail. I hope it's a party when I go. I'm with you, Adam East. I want people to enjoy it as well. Has to be requested. It's definitely interesting. Guns. Born in 1775 in a bar, era. No burial at sea, Menachem. That's not for you. Not into, oh, salty. Get some, brother. Currently, it is the 80th anniversary of the invasion of Peleliu. God bless those who served. Amen to those guys. Peleliu. Never made it there, but I went to Tinian and a couple different islands when I was at the air station. In fact, we got to visit a couple of those islands. Mrs. Dolore, American Legion Auxiliary. Sergeant Major, is your mother still alive, and how often do you call or write to her? Wow, Mrs. Delray, awesome. Thank you. That's an amazing question. And I just talked to her yesterday. She is still alive. She's 87 years old. Not in the best health right now, but God bless you. Thank you. Thank you for asking. She has recently started listening to my lives as well. She can't see real well or hear. She gets real close to the TV. So if you're there, hi, Mom. If you're watching, great question. Thank you very much. That's great. Frank, yes, sir. My grandfather, old Jairene's grandfather, was at Peleliu. Wow, some history. Menachem, oh no, you meant there's only a few videos of burial at sea online. No, appreciate it. Yeah, that is interesting. I think I've seen somewhere, maybe in a movie or something, where they slide the whole casket off into the ocean, but I haven't seen the whole ceremony. I'm gonna. Oh, that's when they got rid of Osama bin Laden. Closed casket. Raised eyebrow. Only branch established in a bar. David Bryant. Cheers. God bless Mama. I'm with you, Doc. And if she's here, I'll talk to her later. She'll say, it was awesome. She's the biggest fan. You are so great. You are so awesome. That's what moms do. Old Jairene, currently 80 years ago, the Marines were pushing the Japanese out of the northern hills of Peleliu. God bless all of them. Warriors. Jared says, some dudes were in Tun's Tavern in that bar and said, we're sick of this crap. Let's start a military. You know, there's a bunch of soon-to-be Lance Corporals or privates and PFCs 2 times over, drinking a beer. Let's start this. Let's go. Neil Armstrong got a burial at sea. Interesting, Frank J. Thanks, brother. You're full of history. This may sound stupid, Miss J. As a civilian here, you ever come across someone who pretends to be a Marine? Stolen valor. I never have. I never personally have run into stolen valor. At least I didn't know. And as a Marine, I would definitely know. And an Army would definitely recognize the Army stolen valor. unless that Marine or that fake wannabe is that good and did that much interesting stuff. I've seen Marines represent themselves not fully 100%, but I've witnessed, and I've seen the videos, and it's like I want to come across one just so I can call them out. And you can see when it happens, there's certain questions. Even the Army, I couldn't pretend to be an Army guy because they would ask questions about my uniform or a unit or something. You wouldn't get it right. As similar as the branches of services are, they are completely different. So I know for a fact I can ask someone a few questions to know right away if they were not an actual Marine or not. Again, could I recognize a stolen valor for Army, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard, or Navy or Coast Guard? Probably not, because that's how, again, the small, unique differences of the military branches are. But 100% a Marine. But no, I've never personally come across one. Not that I want to, because I hope nobody is doing that, but you see stories, you hear stories about them doing it all the time to get benefits, to get handouts, and to try and reap the benefits of being a veteran. So if I know it would piss me the heck off if I did, and I hope no one's doing it. All right. That's it. Look at Jerry. We can sniff them out. Fakes quite easy. John Martinez. Thing is, I got a damn ticket going home with no insurance. John Martinez, you getting ready to join the service? Didn't I miss that part? December, Sunday. John Martinez is going into the service. You're going to the Marine Corps? You got a ticket going home with for no insurance. So just make sure you tell them, if you're already going to boot camp, you got a date and you're getting ready to ship out, make sure you just tell somebody right there. Talk to your recruiter, says Jared. Just tell somebody. Don't try to hide it. It'll catch up to you and you'll end up paying for it the correct way. But just make sure you take care of it. I had a similar story where I did get a ticket that didn't catch up to me till after boot camp and during training, and I kind of put it off longer than I probably should have. And I don't know if I had to pay late fees or something, but I took care of it later on. But just make sure you stay on top of it and let somebody know, right? And they'll try and help you out as much as they can. But definitely, Martinez, take care of it and good luck. So remind us all, you're already shipping out. You got a ship date. Sunday's your ship date to the Marine Corps, East Coast or West Coast. Come on, you know we got to ask that. You going to the mountains of MCRD San Diego, the heat of Camp Pendleton, and cool. It's cool there in the winter too, in the fall. It's nice weather. But they're gigantic mountains. Arturo, joining the Army at age 31. Hooah, get some, brother. Arturo, you got this. We had a 34-year-old Marine that made it, so 31 in the Army, I think you're good. Retired Air Force Technical Sergeant, Yoakum. I missed it, John McJunkin. Put it back up there, buddy. So it was a funny one. Put it back up so I can read it, but I just had it read to me talking about the chair force. Oh, it depends on your MOS and time. Salty Anderson, finally getting my third as a gunnery sergeant. Third hash mark as a gunny, get some guns. I had a hash mark out of boot camp. My DA threw a can of hash at me. Oh, Jaireen. West Coast, baby, get some. So, Major, have you ever been to Tinker Air Force Base? I have not. Where is that? Because I've heard of it. Tinker Air Force Base. Sounds like a good name for an Air Force base. Tinker. Where is that, Doc? 25 Hume Golf. Yes. Remember our T-shirts? Golf Company 25. All right, retreat hell. Just a big G. Remember, I got my butt chewed. For one of the first times I got my butt chewed by a sergeant major. I was a first sergeant. We were finishing the deployment, and we were doing deployment T-shirts because that's what Marines do. And all the companies sent in the black hearts, that big extravagant black heart, and it's always a muscle guy and guns and killing people and skulls and crossbones. I don't remember what the other ones were, but they're all pretty cool. They're always cool, all hard charging, always a big buff Marine, and again, killing bodies and skulls and blood and holding a head and just devastation, death and destruction. And when I asked the company what they wanted to do for ours, and it was a big G, just a big G. The military probably G, you know, the good military font, so it was cool. So our manager said, nope, you need to turn in a design for your company. John, I'll get to that in a minute. You need to turn in a design for your company. So I went back to the company as a first sergeant, got the staff and shows, hey, Sergeant Major wants a design. I give you all day to come up with one and let me know what you want on your shirt. And they left and deliberated, came back and said, First Sergeant, this is what we want. We want a big G, nothing else. That's how we want to be represented, G, baby. So I did. I got my butt chewed, but we had a battalion shirt, the battalion logo, 2-5 retreat hell, all these logos all across and all around it, and then bottom right-hand corner, a G. Still got the shirt. All right, retired tech sergeant. Yoakum says, Sergeant Major, heard you call us a chair force, but remember, not only do we have chairs, but we also have remote controls. Amen. Airmen. That's living large. I'm telling you, I spent some time in the Air Force. I know how y'all live. And yes, we talk trash because we're jealous. So I went to the Air Force NCO Academy as an E6. I was a staff sergeant. And it was a great vacation, 3 months. Academically very tough. I'd never been in so many study groups in my life. 2 tests. That's all it was. The whole school, 3 months, we just had 2 tests. And I got like an 80-something on one, and that was good. The other one I kind of slacked off, and 70 was passing, to let you know their academics there. And like the high score was like a 91. So it was definitely tough, but nothing else was. The PT was easy. Formations. PT was you can run, walk, ride the treadmill was your 3 options for PT. And I was that guy, that Marine that everyone hated, who got my flight, which is a platoon. I talked our flight leader, commander, tech sergeant guy, Bill, I think was his name, to allow us to run PT. A couple people liked it, most hated it, and like, oh, here goes that Marine again. And it started like this. When the first day I got there, they had a little nameplate, a blank piece of paper you fold it and put in front of your seat. Just like this, fold it so it can sit, so everyone can learn your name. And the tech sergeant in charge said, put your rank and name, and what you want to be called. Put it there so we can get to know each other. So I did all that. I put Staff Sergeant Cece, Staff Sergeant Cece, Staff Sergeant Cece. That's how he started this Air Force NCO Academy. And when he got to me, he's like, I think you did it wrong, Sergeant. I said, with no due respect, technical sergeant, I'm a staff sergeant. Because in the Air Force, a staff sergeant is an E5, right? E5, and then technical sergeant is E6. And then I think they call them all sergeants after that anyway. So he wasn't doing it out of disrespect. I said, a sergeant in the Marine Corps is an E5. I'm a staff sergeant. I'd appreciate it if everyone called me staff sergeant. So not meaning to be disrespectful or rude, I was just being a Marine. And I just said I would appreciate it if everyone called me by my rank. That is my first name and last name, Staff Sergeant Cece. But it was good. Made some real good friends. Learned a lot. I want to believe they learned stuff from me as well. I remember one day we were talking about, the discipline process. The Air Force had 5 steps to disciplining one of their airmen. And the scenario was an airman shows up to formation late. Step 1, the lowest form of discipline is you give that airman the look like you're late. Like, I noticed that you're late. That's step 1. Step 2, you actually say something to him. Hey, Jones, you're late. That's step 2. Step 3 is you I think like you actually counsel him. Hey, Jones, you're late. And see me after formation, and you actually have a conversation with them. Hey, you're late to formation. Please don't ever do that again. Step 4, I think an actual counseling paper that you sign, he signs. And then step 5 is you enter that into his book. And don't quote me on all 5 steps, but the first 3 were like, And as I'm listening to this, I kind of, had that look on my face, like it's a little different. And they got to know me after a while. After they give a period of instruction, they say, Staff Sergeant Cece, is this similar to the Marine Corps? I would say no, it's not. They said, well, what would you do if you're in formation, you're holding a formation and somebody comes up late? Of course, I said what I would do and have done before. Jones, you're freaking late. You better start pushing right now. I'll talk to you after. They're like, there's no way you would embarrass him like that in front of everybody. Well, yes, of course, but that would be the only time he'd be late. It's some accountability. Like you would say his name just like that. You would call him out and yell at him. So a little different in the branch of service. And yes, every class was like that. I'm gonna hit that Gunna East, talking about the E and Buckley. Yes. But here's the second scenario. I want to tell you about that Air Force Academy. This was fun. This one took a long time for them to finally realize. They couldn't believe this one either. And I don't remember how we got on there, because very rare, I think 1 or 2 classes were even discussed combat. And at the end of the day, the commandant of the school would come and ask you, how was that today? What'd you learn today? What'd you think? And I remember every day at the end of the day saying, we Chief Master Sergeant, we didn't discuss combat at all. Oh, that's coming, that's later. So I don't know how it was, but we got into a discussion about gas masks or NBC, nuclear, biological, chemical warfare. We got on that subject, and I was describing to them how we check for if it's all clear or not. And those Marines know, you already know what I'm talking about. Those who are not Marines, here's how you check. You're in an NBC environment, you've been gassed or suspected to have been gassed. You don your gas mask, you clear it, you got your whole MOP suit on, you're still fighting, but you're in full MOP suit, MOP level 4. And you have test kits to test the air to see, but the one true way to make sure that it's clear is you find the junior Marine, the youngest Marine present. So you find that private or PFC, sorry, lay cook, take that Marine's weapon, and then you take their mask off and you watch him. If he lives, it's clear. He takes a couple of big, deep breaths, it's clear. And that's doctrine. That's there's no other sure way to do it. Obviously, you want to hope in that, you've done all the other tests and they show clear. That's one true way. They could not believe it. They did not believe that that's what you would do to make sure it's completely clear. But that's it. All right, that was good. Jared, I'm with you, bro. That's what I have in here, CS gas. I drink CS gas like it's Kool-Aid. All right. The E and Buckley. Did a short on that. Was that yesterday already? I did a short on that. JJ did tie buckle. As Marines, again, we all know, I'm preaching to the choir. That's our leadership traits. 14 leadership traits: judgment, justice, decisiveness, integrity, dependability, tact, initiative, endurance, bearing, unselfishness, courage, knowledge. What's L? C? No, B-U-C-K, knowledge, B-U-C-K-L-E. What is L? No. E, enthusiasm, loyalty. L is loyalty. Enthusiasm, well, they added another E. So now there's 15 leadership traits, and the 15th one is empathy. Had some great comments on the short that I did yesterday. It's and this was the change of it started with Sergeant Major Black, the previous Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, changing leading Marines manual and transition into different leadership roles is two Marine Corps orders, doctrines that they put out there. So the current Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps finished heading up these changes to the Marine Corps manuals, and that was one of them. They added empathy. And interesting, some of the comments were, hey, what happened to suck it up, right? And what kind of empathy do we need to have with them? And I do believe there needs to be some level of empathy, but we can't get it mixed up or confused with, oh, tell me how that makes you feel, right? Our mission is different. The Marine Corps mission is different. We have to instant willing obedience to orders, right? Is it something you can discuss later? You hurt my feelings when you said that. Are we about feelings? Can you imagine how they're going to try and implement this into boot camp? So interesting. Let's hear what you think. Salty says, the fighting spirit of the Corps is gone with the addition of empathy. The Corps has truly gone soft and is now not combat ready. Jared says, you can still be hard charger and be empathetic. Empathy, how times have changed. So again, I think it's going to be one of those things as leaders that the amount of emphasis you place on empathy. Is it going to affect combat readiness? I think, Salty, I hear you, brother, but Marines are always going to be badass, and we're going to accomplish the mission. There's going to be some hurt feelings, period. You need to get over it. This is not any other place. It is the Marine Corps. So the level and amount of empathy is going to be placed on the type of leader that you are. Again, leadership or likership kind of fits right in. Do you want the Marines to like you, or do you want them to think of you as a leader, right? Do they respect you, or do they listen to you because they have to? So I believe there's amount of empathy. I just don't know if it needs to be in the leadership traits. Doesn't mean you're out there hugging people. I hear you, Jared. I got you. The hell with your feelings, David Bryant. Great perspective, Gunny. What did Gunny say? Not the place. Yeah. Thanks, Menachem. Frank J. Feel weird commenting as a civilian, but empathy can mean relating to your soldiers. Many of the greatest commanders in history understood the mind of their soldiers. Or Marines, Frank. Yeah, okay, I like that. More of a, yeah, empathy and encouragement go hand in hand. So yes, it can just reassure that Marine that, hey, I got your back. I have empathy, but know from the get-go I have your back. And I do understand where you're coming from and probably how it could look. Right there, Gunny E says, it's like I got your 6, 100%. Jarhead says to Jared, I see your point, but does it mean you treat everyone differently or the same across the board? You definitely can't treat everyone the same. No way in hell. I mean, it's just not going to work. There are times general information and general butt chewings, sure, but everyone responds differently. David Bryant, you want empathy? I'll give you empathy. If we can stop giving participation trophies, our next gen of war fighters will be better off. Amen to that, producer. Agree with you 100%. There can be only one. Only one winner. Because if you ain't first, you're last. Who said that? You can't show favoritism because it shows weakness. No favoritism. Jared says, same. A Marine is a Marine, but they're also human. They are human. And they're tougher than your average person, so they can take a butt chewing when it's warranted. All right, that's like that Air Force. I told you about the first step in seeing someone coming late. I noticed you were late today. No, you're going to get your butt chewed. Does that mean if I chew you out for being late, that I don't have empathy for you? No, I'm going to find out later why you were late. Might have something to do with it, but that's just called leadership, right? Does it have to be implemented into our 14 leadership traits? That is something that has to be discussed specifically. That was kind of what I was getting to in the short that I did. Does it need to be added? Just like that new MOS for a staff NCO to be a counselor or something. I don't even remember what it was. All right. John McJunkin, former Navy CPO, Chief Petty Officer, O'Hanlon, says, I served aboard the Decatur between, am I saying that right? Between 56 and 59 with a group of Marines on Kwajalein. Nothing but respect for those guys. Hardworking, good bunch. Thank you, shipmate. Appreciate you. Awesome. Glad you're here. Chief Petty Officer, URAH. Chief's Mess. Interesting breed, those chiefs. Very awesome. Very true, Jarhead. Semtex, $5. Appreciate you. Time dropping by here. Second time dropping by here. You motivate me, sir, and thank you for your service. Thank you very much, Semtex. URAH. Semper Fi. What is that little emblem in front of the 5? Does that mean 5 million? URAH. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate you. Very kind of you. URAH. 5 pounds. I'll take 5 pounds. Euros. 5. Awesome. Thank you. So we covered the the JJ did type Buckley. And I think it's already set. Again, if you haven't seen it yet, any active duty right now, have you heard about it yet? Has it been implemented? The article I was reading, I didn't finish reading it. Did discuss it, that it is. I mean, they even the picture of the new book, the new handbook, Leading Marines, it was already in there, and it said the 15 leadership traits. So I think it's done. It's a done deal. So leaders, lead with some empathy as you chew in their butt. Yeah, at 100%. I don't think I had a whole lot of empathy in life and just in general. And I may have been told that before. And that's what the challenges and struggles, and that's what God is teaching me and helping me teach others through me on how to have empathy at times that empathy is necessary. So very interesting that they added to the leadership traits. Dave Bryant, I give them a high five. Inflation takes away my purchasing power. Lead from the front and you should not have a problem. Jarhead, nailed it. England went back to the pound and dropped the euro. Some well-versed people in our warrior community right here know about the pound. Should Marines have their own, Manakam says, should Marines have their own chaplains or is the Navy system all good? Very good question, Manakam. We don't have medical or chaplain services in the Marine Corps, and that's why the Navy corpsmen and the chaplains are lucky enough to be sent to the Marines. I think it's a great system. I see no problem with it whatsoever. Served again my entire Marine Corps with Navy corpsmen and Navy chaplain, and I think it is a great system. I don't know. I mean, Marines are every Marine a rifleman first and foremost. So chaplains, one, don't carry weapons. They have the RP that protects the chaplain, the Navy enlisted, and corpsmen have a sidearm, but their job is to treat wounded Marines. So it's not their number one job is to be a rifleman. It's not. So that's part of why we have Navy assigned to us. And I think it's a great system. Anyone else feel any differently? Great corpsman and chaplain throughout my entire career. Usually, I want to say 9 times out of 10, once they serve on the green side, they want to stay on the green side. They want to come back as many times as they can. Lay Cookie says, don't think a good Marine would make a good chaps. Not the correct makeup. It'd be interesting. That very well would be interesting to have a Marine chaplain, if he was a Marine, he'd be a captain in like a company level or a major, lieutenant colonel in battalion size element. So it would be interesting. But I don't think it's necessary. I think it's perfect the way it is. On the reserve side of the house, there are EMTs and firefighters and a lot of SMCR units, reserve units. I always love the relationship between the Marines and Navy. I do too, Jared. Again, I think it's pretty amazing how it works so well. Can you join the Marines at 31? Says Arturo. We had a Marine that we talked about on the show, 34. URAH. So the answer is yes. The age limit cutoff, I think we all agreed it was 27 or 28, but there's a waiver. So go for it, Arturo. You got what it takes. You got the heart, physically fit, mentally tough. Go for it. Oh, great point, Bob. Arturo, ask for a waiver. That's Matt is down there kicking it. Former Army, Buck Sergeant. Uncle Buck, Sergeant Major, did you, while an engineer yourself, ever work with our Army Corps of Engineers, my old outfit? Yes, I did, old Buck Sergeant. Army Corps of Engineers, they much more, I don't want to say competent is not the right word, but the Marine engineer, the combat engineer's mission is much different than the Navy Seabees and the Army Corps of Engineers. Seabees and the Army Corps of Engineers, their final product is permanent structures. Combat engineers are temporary, expeditionary. So we built it in a combat environment. It's supposed to last 3 months. Seabees, 3 years. Army Corps of Engineers, permanent structures that are there to last forever. So I did have a few opportunities to work with both entities, and they're pretty awesome. We absolutely learned a lot, and it helped us out. Teaching us, and we might have taken some tools from Seabees before and forgot to give them back. Best tools. Recruiter said I couldn't because I didn't have prior service experience, says Arturo. Find another recruiter, because that's not true. I mean, it's true, but you can join at that age. Again, it was an article we read. This guy he tried for 18 years to get in the Marine Corps, finally got in. Graduated boot camp at 34 years old. Dave Jensen, first arm pulled me off the bus, made me non-deployable. I walked to doorknob to medical board, walked away to deploy with the next deployment. Hurt, and first sergeant said it was all in my head. Go to a different recruiter. It says Gunny East. I'm with you. Find someone else. Ask someone else. Ask the staff NCOIC of that recruiting station. But definitely ask someone else. Do service members and veterans Semtex, is that another 5 pounds? Can I ask you to describe your thoughts when you first joined the military? Were you nervous, etc., and any funny memories you have from early days? Absolutely, Semtex. Was I nervous? Nah. Yeah, I was nervous. Scared out of my mind. Thought over and over. I went into boot camp with the buddy, went on the buddy program. We weren't best friends or anything, but I knew him from high school. His mom was my English teacher. She said, you better take care of my son in boot camp. I said, who's going to take care of me? And day one, I was like, bro, I think I made a mistake. I got to get out of here. I came to the wrong place. So very nervous, very anxious, had no idea what to expect. No one had ever yelled at me like that in my life. Didn't want to be there. It took a few days, and again, obviously you get accustomed to it. It 100% was culture shock. And funny stories, I got a million of them. I don't know why it always made me laugh when I don't know, a grown man would pee himself, but not funny. That's how scared some of these kids are. Uncontrollable. I had a kid who was on top of the rappel tower. They could not pry his hands off the bar to go over the wall on the rappel tower. It's 80 feet. It's scary, the first step and all that stuff, but he was in a state of shock. They could not pry his fingers off. Everyone had to get down. I don't even know how long it took him to get that kid down. That was funny. A whole bunch of funny stories. Different. You get 89 teenagers from 89 different households and states and just walks of life. You're going to see some funny stuff in boot camp. and it's shared misery. That by the end of it, yeah, you're not best friends, but you make some very, very close friends. But you do always see some pretty funny stuff. Great question, though, and appreciate you. Again, dropping them pounds. Thank you, brother. Arturo, my old man always told me he'd rather have a daughter in a whorehouse than a son in the army. Yeah, right. Same here, but needed college money. What's your favorite? All right. So as we land this helicopter, appreciate you guys. Merch drop. SFMF-merch.myshopify.com. Just sent some more stuff out today. Appreciate you guys. Quick view of all of our stickers. Awesome time. Once again tonight, killing it. Here we go. One of the newer ones. Love this one. SFMF-merch.myshopify.com. And let us know when you receive your, oh, here's a shiny of the same little Reaper. Let us know if you could when you receive your packages. It's on Instagram as well. You can order from there. The description is in the link. No. Who is? Tag us on Instagram with your purchase so we can see it. Sport that shirt, that hoodie. It's getting cold. Don't forget about the hoodies. Dog Holiday. You'd be surprised when you get your package, brother. And yes, I did. Old Sarnt right there. Yeah, order something. I'll show you the bag with your name on it. All right, everyone. Once again, appreciate y'all being here. What another great night. Sunday, 1800. Sunday, 1800. Sunday, 1800 CST, Central Standard Time, 1800. Great night, great topics. 9/11, if you haven't said some prayers for those that we lost on 9/11, please do sometime before the night, before you hit the rack. Continue to stay motivated. Keep this channel growing. Hit the like and subscribe button. Share with your friends. Share with your family members. Always a pleasure to spend an evening with you. Thank you to my production team. 100% success and support. And we will definitely see you Sunday. God bless you all. Semper Fi, my friend. Hurrah.